All right, hey guys, Jerry from Showtime Audio. So we're working on Brian's new Jaguar F-Type. So, like always, he tasks us with quite an incredible list. Basically, his goal is always the most amount of output and all kinds of craziness, but he doesn't want to see anything. So he wants everything hidden, take up little or no space, but he wants a ton of output. Now, typically, those things don't go together. But on his Cherokee, we just did that, right? We were able to hide all the amplifiers. The only thing that's visible is a subwoofer that's in the right rear quarter, which is where the factory subwoofer comes. So we go from an SUV to a two-door convertible. No space, right? And bass is a huge issue in this car. It does have these 8-inch woofers behind the seats. We'll show you those in a second, but they're horrible at best. And they're playing into the back of the seat. The other problem is, and we'll show you that in a second, there's very little airspace. There are some people that have tried to put 8s and build it out, glass it, and it works, but the airspace is too low. No matter what woofer you put in, there's just so little airspace that he likes a ton of bass. I don't mean a little bit of bass. He likes a lot of bass. We put a 10W6 with 1,000 watts in his Cherokee, okay? So, and he wants very similar in this car, which is almost impossible. So what we ended up coming up with, and we'll show you in a second, is we pulled the entire floor of the Jaguar, the whole side, right? And what it is the carpet is like this insert. There's a metal plate, and then there's a module that lives right behind that metal plate. So what Hondo did is, we actually relocated it twice. He relocated that brain up into the quarter panel, way up there. He made a bracket. He did it at first, which was good enough, but then the kick didn't go on quite right. And I'm kind of particular about stuff. So he relocated it higher. Now everything pops in as if it came with the vehicle. So what he did is, by doing that, we were able to build an enclosure that fits behind that metal plate technically. We can still use the original carpet. We're doing something that I love to do in like an SUV. We're in essence down firing. We're not down firing. We're actually firing at the firewall. So that serves two purposes. One is by the woofer firing into something, it's loading, right? So that's a benefit. It increases our output. By the woofer being in the footwell, also increases our output. So not only do we have a footwell sub, like you've seen our C8 boxes that are kind of all the rage right now, but by firing into the footwell, we're loading. So not only are we getting the advantage of a footwell sub, but we're also getting the advantage of loading. So this is what the enclosure looks like. So what we did in this case is Hondo built this enclosure. The space is very flat but angular. We'll show you that in a second. So what he did is he built this space in order to take up as much room as possible. The only real shape is this section here, which is by the transmission tunnel, the center console. So he molded it. The reason we do it this way is we don't have to glass it in the vehicle. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm actually making templates, because we like to pre-cut the mat and make it so that it fits perfectly. So this is a bunch, so we make all the templates and we'll glass this entire structure. So this entire structure will be glassed, right? With the metal, all of that in line. Now, the other thing that we've done is, if you see, so the woofer, and we're fitting a Audio Mobile Elite 3210. That is a big woofer. It's not a shallow, I mean, it's short, but it's not a shallow sub. We'll show you, it still has some mass to it, but it can take a ton of power. And the nice thing is it works in very little airspace. We did the math. Well, actually we did the math. We did the packing peanuts trick. We'll show you that. And we have the correct airspace with that. I mean, it's unreal. And we're sacrificing basically 0 footwell space. He was super worried about the footwell space. He really wanted us to do those back seats, and after doing a lot of research and some math, I was like, it's not gonna work, right? So it's gonna be a ton of effort, and it's not gonna give him the result that he wanted. So we're going with this, which is a lot more work, but in our opinion, it's a lot more work, but the final outcome will be much better. The other thing is, we're picking up a factory mounting point. So the nice thing will be is that it will bolt in. So not only will it fit in that space, and it's basically held in by the sheet metal of the car, the frame, or the body, I should say, and then we're gonna bolt to the floor, right? This box will have the back on it, and then we're gonna make an adaptation so that we can still get to the bolt and bolt the enclosure in place. This is mind-blowing. So this is where the factory carpet sits. There's a metal plate here, and then there's a module that lives behind it. This module, to be exact. So this module normally lives where the woofer is now. And so Hondo relocated it, made a custom bracket, and it's bolted up in this corner. So obviously you put the glove box in, you put the kick panel in, and he in essence loses no space. But just want to show you how close this is. So there's a little bit of air here because you have the blower motor, but we're right butted up to it. And then we're accounting for the harnesses and then all this. And this is that trans tunnel we were talking about. We also deadened all of this space to make sure that it doesn't vibrate or rattle, right? But I mean, it is a tight fit. If you see, the beauty is he also has a spacer. So what we're doing is we're firing into this corner here. So the nice thing about, and we've showed this before, just like in home theater, the ideal way is to fire the woofer down or into a corner so that it loads and all that energy is transferred to the room. In this case, the room is the cabin of the car. And in a convertible, that is super important because when you open the top, I don't care how much bass you don't have enough bass to fill the world, right? But by transferring the energy, it in essence fills the cabin with bass, right? It's not just going out into the world. The energy is actually transferring to the vehicle. So the best way to think about it is if you've ever seen those things where they make those things where you put your phone in a cup or you put your phone in one of those little things that basically does this, right? So it makes it louder. Well, bass is no different, right? When you load against something, you're in essence doing that. So this is our V8 Ultimate, right? And to say that it fits by the hair of its chinny chin chin is a understatement. Little CAD design, cardboard aided design. So we love to do things in cardboard. So this is the initial. So if you see that, this is the initial, this is how we do it to come up with the concept and kind of prove it. Once we know it will work, we make a wood template, then we machine it out of aluminum, then it is bent to the shape. And in this case, we have plush nuts in order to be able to bolt it. Everything is bolted, nothing is just like screwed in. And we're picking up the factory bolt holes. That's where the amp went, right, Hondo?
Yeah.
That's what, okay. So the factory amp used to live in this space here. So we're using a optical interface in order to remove the factory amp. And now we can put our Helix V8 in there. On this side, he made another bracket, and this is our M1D. So this is our 1,000-watt monoblock. But if you look, this is all the airspace that you would have had for an 8-inch sub. Now, granted, you could make it work. There's a couple guys that have done it, and I'm sure it sounds phenomenal. But our client likes a lot of bass, not just a little bass, a lot. And he likes it to drop. He likes it to play pretty low. The problem with having such a small enclosure is that it will not play, depending on the design and the airspace, it will not play that low. So by doing this, we're taking advantage of, again, of the footwell space, loading, physically mounted to the vehicle, all that good stuff. So on this side, if you see, same thing. there's not a ton of space for airspace. Even if you glass all this, it's still a very small amount of airspace. This is the optical module, and same thing. He's built a bracket. He's built a bracket so that we're picking up the factory mounting points. Now, all this will live behind the seat. This is where the original 8-inch and their tweeter is, but we don't need that because we're running a fully active front stage. And then this, we also added a CarPlay video interface. So the client wanted a front camera because he doesn't want to destroy his splitter. So this in the front end is really long on this vehicle. So we added that, which will now give him wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, plus the ability to add a front camera, which we're gonna put in. So another thing that the client that we do a lot for him is sound treatment. So we're real big. We're gonna do the entire floor, stage 3, both doors, firewall obviously, and in essence, as much of the sheet metal as we can cover. So typically we don't suggest the floor because the floor is pretty rigid on a lot of vehicles, but on higher end cars, sports cars, cars that are really low to the ground, it's really beneficial. Because the car is so low to the ground, you pick up much more road noise and vibration than you would in a traditional car, let's say like an SUV or something that sits very far off the ground, right? So in these cars, we definitely want to do the floors because it will help lower the cabin noise, which will make our stereo sound louder. We're working on Brian's box. The way we do it is a little different as far as the fiberglassing, right? So in this particular case, we built a mold per se, and we're going to resin the entire inside of it with matte. So what we do is, it's a lot of pieces. So this is all the pieces to get the front, the main body of the mold done. We'll marry the back to it, and now it'll be a completely sealed closure. But it's a lot of prep work. And the reason we do it this way is to ensure that we have a uniform thickness. There's definitely other ways to do it. We used to do it a different way, and in some cases we still do, right? But in a case like this where we want it to be really, really rigid, we want to make sure that every section is 4 layers thick. Plus, we're going to add in some filler in a lot of the seams, so it'll almost like a fillet. So that fillet will make it even stronger still. It's a lot of prep work, but the final result is a really uniform, consistent enclosure. It's basically the same way we build the C8 boxes. We're just doing it now for this Jaguar F-Type. Why do it this way, right? Why spend all this time to make all these, to make the templates? We have to make all these templates in order to make the pieces. Because when you're just putting in matte, like the typical way you do it is you tape it all off and you just put in a bunch of layers of matte and you pray. You pray that you didn't miss a spot, or you put twice as much as in one spot, a quarter as much as another spot, 6 times as much in one spot. So it's inconsistent, right? The enclosure has spots that are weaker and spots that are stronger. So by doing it this way, again, way more work, but we can ensure that it's consistently a certain thickness, and then it'll be consistently rigid.
Check this thing out. I mean, that thing is absolutely rigid.
Visit our website at showtimeaudiochicago.com.